Hey guys, it's Valentine's Day. I'm in my Valentine's Day pajamas, and I just wanted to pop on because I had a couple of things I want to share really quick. Valentine's Day for me, prior, to 3 years ago, I hated holidays. I wanted to love them. I wanted to have like really great memories, but I just really hated them because they just reminded me of everything I didn't have, like lack of love, lack of where I wanted to be, you know, professionally, where I wanted to be socially, family wise, all my goals, my dreams. Like it just kind of just would always hit me like on different holidays. And I wanted to just pop on because Valentine's Day I feel like can be like one of the worst days. Same with like Christmas and Thanksgiving and even New Year's. I kind of feel like all the holidays are so bad. So I totally feel like I can't just pick one. um, but today is like, the day of love. And it really does truly suck for a lot of people. And if you are where I was, um, back when I was dealing with all of my suicidal ideations, um, I just wanted to share a few things with you that are really going to help you, like, really push through the weekend and hopefully can really just launch you into a completely better reality and just a better life overall, a better quality of living. Um, so recently, I just got a lot of my kitchen um, updated, and I could put a new light fixture in, and I just put this new wallpaper on one of the walls, like an accent wall, and it was something I had been wanting for several years, and I just kept looking at this blank wall and this big hole in the ceiling where this light fixture was supposed to go, and I just kept thinking like, oh my gosh, this sucks, this sucks, this sucks. Like I'm still living here. This thing looks crazy, it looks horrible, blah blah blah, and it's never gonna get done. And you know how we kind of spin ourselves into reminding ourselves where we're at in that moment and then just continuously relive it over and over again. And that's what I was doing. So I just got that wallpaper done yesterday. And when I tell you I was so happy how a wallpaper could make somebody so happy that it seems like so like superficial and dumb. And obviously, if you get what I'm saying, it wasn't about the wallpaper. It was the fact that it had been years that I had gone without it, waiting for this unpainted, just really bad looking wall. It just looked like a construction area. It just looked terrible. So for me to get it done, it felt so good. And all of a sudden, all those years of looking at this really disgusting bare wall that was like, I don't know if you ever like ripped off wallpaper off a wall before, or tiles, or anything like that. The baseboard was ripped off. All the nastiness that you see on the wall when it has to kind of like get redone. I know there's a name for it. I don't know the name right now. I kind of don't care. But looking at that disgusting wall and this hole in the ceiling with wires hanging out where this light fixture was supposed to go for years, to have that done just put me in a completely different space where I was so happy. I was literally hugging my wall. Being honest with you, I was hugging my wall so many times yesterday, kissing my wall and telling Jesus, thank you so much for my wallpaper. Thank you for the money that I could buy this wallpaper and have it professionally done so it looks fantastic. And I thank you that when I move from here, whoever's going to move into this place is going to love it so much. They're going to feel like so luxurious. They're going to feel like so special living here, like they're moving into their dream place. And I just couldn't stop being so grateful. And one thing hit me that I want to share with you. And it's just that one phrase that I have carried with me since I've started this whole entire journey of self development and unraveling, suicidal thoughts and brains and neurons and all this kind of stuff. That the truth of today is not the truth of tomorrow. And circumstances really don't matter. Circumstances don't matter. And all I kept thinking was, I don't care about all those 5 years that I've been living here staring at that ugly wall and that ugly ceiling in this bizarre halfway done construction zone, just for whatever reason, things just not moving or not getting done for a multitude of different reasons. but none of it mattered. And I just really didn't care. All I cared about was that it was done and I felt great. I feel great. And I just said, man, Jesus, I feel like a spoiled princess. Like, I can't believe this wallpaper that looks so beautiful and this light that I've been wanting for so long is finally in. And I know that like everybody's gonna love it. And when I move, whoever buys it, they're just gonna be so happy and so thrilled. Like, I'm like feeling all the happy pre vibes for them. And I haven't even like started showing my place yet. And I wanted to share that with you because right now you're going through what I defined as feeling like kitchen trash. That's how I felt when I was going through all my suicidal thoughts and my ideations and all my, hopelessness feelings and I didn't matter and all those things. And once I got to the space where I would say that I tell people I cured myself of suicide because, and I say that because I, number one, I no longer have had those thoughts at all when they were thoughts that I would have, sporadically on a regular basis for the past, 25 years or something. Um, I don't have those thoughts anymore at all. And number two, I would ask myself throughout that time frame, do I want to kill myself? And I would check myself because I would want to know, where am I at on this journey? And my answer was no. And when I had this gut core knowing, this gut core feeling that I know I don't have any of that anymore, it's kind of like my brain went through a car wash and all of that just kind of like just went into like the void of nowhere land. That's when I would say like, wow, I really feel cured. I'm not coping with suicidal thoughts. I'm not coping with depression. I'm not coping with not feeling like I matter. I'm not coping with feeling like I have no purpose in life or that, nobody cares about me or I can't remember the last time somebody said I matter to them or all these things. I don't have any of those type of things anymore. Oh, my life didn't turn out the way I wanted to. I tried so hard. I did all these things and all these things were lined up and then just crashed down. Somebody took this away from me. They robbed me from this many years of my life or, this happened. This person should have been there. They weren't there. And all the different events in my life that had brought me to that place of just disgusting, like nasty, grimy kitchen trash that I was feeling. I don't have not even a speck of that anymore. And I feel about my suicide story the same way that I feel about my wallpaper. I feel like everything that happened from that day before I feel like I cured myself or that I felt cured, everything that happened from then, all the way from when all this stuff started, none of it matters to me. And I'm telling you that from my gut and my soul. None of it matters to me. I don't feel any negative thoughts or any kind of anything towards it. I feel like that was a chapter in my life that happened and I was stuck in something and I didn't know how to get out of it. But now that I'm not in it anymore, like I'm not in it at all anymore, seriously. It's like nearly like a non-existent space for me. Does it mean that like my life is perfect? No. But it means that all the way that I would think and react and behave and receive and reject, all the way I was with how I was doing life, those things are different now. And because of that, the way my brain functions, the way my brain works, the way my brain, receptors and all my synapses and all these neurons that I'm building and recreating all these things, it's like a completely different factory now. That's kind of the best way I can explain it. It's like my brain is like a completely different factory. I feel like my brain was just so bootleg in the ghetto and just like the projects, just like, and one day it was just like my brain just evicted everybody and just said, we're going to start from scratch and we're just going to rebuild. And that's exactly what I did. And I'm so grateful because now I feel like none of those circumstances that I was in matter. Nothing that I went through, none of the traumas, none of the things that happened to me, none of the bad decisions that I made, like all of it, it just doesn't matter anymore. And the truth of yesterday, that's not my truth of tomorrow, because my truth of today and tomorrow is this new brain that I have, this new life that I'm living, this new way of thinking where I'm like, wow, I really get to like create my new life. And have this whole new experience that I wasn't going to have before. So I want you to be encouraged that it is 100% possible for you to eradicate these negative thoughts, especially if you feel like, oh, I'm a negative person. And I've heard that before where people say, I'm just so negative. I just can't stop myself. I'm just so negative. That's just how I am. That's how I'm built. I can't help it. It's just life. And it's just me. Everybody's fine. But I don't want to bring my negativity around people. All of the stuff that people just profess with their mouth, and they are literally like manifesting and creating themselves to in that negative fog, and they can't get out of it because they keep repeating what they're saying and they don't see past where they are, which I get. When you're in the fog, all you're seeing is that fog, and I get it. That's why there's that saying, some people can't see past the end of their nose. So some of you guys, you can't even imagine or even fathom a life where you could be genuinely feeling happiness or genuinely feeling excitement or genuinely feeling like I'm going to succeed at this or I'm going to make this happen. Or, yeah, these things traumatic happened in my life, but I was a victim, but I am not a victim. That was something that happened back then, past tense, but right now, present tense, I'm actually like really strong and really good. And I'm not living that same thing that happened to me every single day because it's not happening to me right now. Like, I'm done with that. That is a past memory, and I don't have to continue carrying those negative memories with me over and over again to keep building these really strong negative thoughts that continuously live over it again like a hamster wheel. So I wanted to share that with you, and I wrote some notes. So one of the things I wrote down, or I guess that was the first thing, was the circumstances don't matter. Um, if you want like a movement from where you are in the fog to get out of the fog, the fastest way for you to get movement is going to be basically achieving something. From when you achieve something, it's going to take you from where you are to being in a place where you really don't care a lot about whatever it was that you were feeling before. And it's not about a distraction thing, because I know some people are going to say, oh, but you're just distracting from your pain. You're not dealing with your pain. And that's actually not it at all. What these doctors don't tell you, what these churches don't tell you, what your friends don't know, what your family doesn't know, what your therapist don't know, none of these people know. And I'm saying that because I can guarantee you probably maybe like 1 or 2% of people actually really truly like get this. So now you're like part of the 1 or 2%. So you should feel special because now you're like, there's like exclusive information that you're getting right here. When you have a negative thought, it's not just one negative thought. When you have a negative thought, it multiplies when you stay thinking about it. So if you allow yourself to tell a friend, to tell your coworkers, to complain to your spouse, to complain to your kids, to complain to your neighbors, to complain to yourself, to complain to God, when you are reliving it, and when I say complain, I don't mean like if you have to just vent just to get something off your chest. That's different. You're just saying it just to get it out. Some people aren't saying it to getting out. Some people are reliving it over and over again and over and over and over and over and over and over again. That's not the same thing as venting. Venting is something that you do like when you say, I'm sorry, I apologize, you forgive me, and you're done. You don't keep apologizing to somebody 100 billion times for the same thing. When you are genuinely sorry, you give a genuine apology, you are done, and then you move on. And it's up to the other person if they want to accept it or not. And it's the same thing when something happens that creates a new memory for you. If it's a memory that you don't like, if it's a memory that's negative, if you keep reliving it over and over and over and over again, you're not only making that memory stronger, you're creating a synapse, which that's what you don't want to happen, because that's basically like creating a new muscle. And when you create that one new muscle and then you keep reliving it over again, it multiplies. So that one negative thought that you think you're having, it's not like a negative thought about something like, oh, that thing happened, and sometimes I think about it, it makes me sad. No, when you keep reliving it, you are multiplying those negative thoughts over and over and over again. So that one negative thought that you thought you were struggling with is actually like billions of negative thoughts about the same exact thing. So you've built up this like, Arnold Schwarzenegger muscle mind on this one negative thing. And you have all these strong muscles around this negative thought. And that's why you can't get rid of it. So you have to learn how to break it down, which is why I created this channel, because I wanted to share these tips and these things on what I did and why I shared my story, and how I was able to break down all those muscles. I mean, we have muscles here. You know how it goes. You go to the gym for a while and you start, flexing and everything, and all of a sudden you skip the gym and you skip it again and you skip it again and you skip it again. Before you know it, your muscle ain't that muscle anymore. Your muscle looks a little more like. So it's the same exact thing in your brain, but they don't teach this stuff in school. They should. I think they don't, because I think that's just what kind of helps them make the money go around. That's just my own personal opinion. But if you learn how to break down those negative muscles and then replace them with muscles that are going to serve you and serve your life and serve your dreams and serve you better, then that's how you get out of the fog the fastest. So when I say achieve something is going to help you to not care about your pain and your suffering and your hopelessness and your frustrations, it's because when you achieve something, you really do get like on that dopamine high. You really do start making like an amazing memory for yourself, and making that really big, amazing memory for yourself, and creating that like lightning bolt mind synapse connection, and you start multiplying that, that's what's going to help you weaken those negative memories that are like clawing at your brain and like holding you hostage. You know what I mean? Have you ever felt like you're being held hostage by yourself? Like you feel like your brain is holding you hostage and you're like, oh, it's just me. I don't know what to do. I should be able to control it, but I can't. Or like, I just can't get out my own head. And I know you've heard that before. So it's the same thing. So if you want to get out of it faster, you want to achieve something. So I would say whether it's like learning a new language or doing an activity, learning a new sport, learning a new instrument, doing new stuff really helps you to, kind of find something that you would want to achieve, make a goal, and actually like do it and complete it. So maybe like for an instrument, maybe you want to like learn to play like one song really well, or maybe you want to play like, a community pickup soccer game or basketball game or whatever the case is, but you want to play like one game with like a bunch of random strangers. And like, that's going to be like your achievement for the day, that you like went out there and just like put yourself out there, even though maybe you're not really good at sports or something. But you want to find something that you can achieve to give yourself like a short win. So even just like trying it, just doing something is going to give you that short win. And then once you actually achieve whatever that goal is, that's really what's going to help you to get out the fog the fastest. So plus, you're always going to feel good when you're adding more value to yourself. And you're going to feel like you are adding more value to yourself when you learn new things, because you're going to feel better about yourself. You're going to build your own confidence by learning how to do whatever it is you feel like doing. If you want to learn how to knit, or if you want to learn about, holistic lifestyle, or if you want to learn about how to do hair or how to build model cars, whatever that thing is. There's just way too many things out there in the world that we could be learning. And we think it's just like, dumb little hobbies or pastimes, but it's actually not. When you start learning stuff, your brain just goes on like hot lightning fire, and it really, really, really crushes the negative neurons that you have in your brain. So the more stuff, activities that you learn, fun stuff that you actually enjoy, that you want to do, you are going to come out the fog way faster doing it that way. The second thing is, if I don't know if you're like this, but I used to struggle a lot with creating a dream life for myself. Um, my dream life when I was, well, for most of my life, was actually like, I wanted to be like a soccer mom. I wanted to have, if I had monies, I was like, I will have 12 kids as long as I can afford it. I would have 12 kids, and I would be like cheaper by the dozen, and I would have a blast. That would be like my fun. I love kids. I'm great with kids. I can handle that many. Like I could have been like the Bates family, or Duggar's, one of these large type of families. Like I could have totally like rocked that for sure. But right now I have no kids for my own reasons, which I'm so glad that I don't, because I didn't want to bring kids into something that I did not feel confident, with the person I was with. So that just, didn't happen for me yet. But what I would say is, if you are someone who maybe you're ahead of where I was, If you're someone who does have some ideas and dreams, or you want to revive some ideas and dreams that you did have, I'm going to say this to you, and it's going to sound a little funky, but just go with it. If you go to Chat GPT, might be called like Open AI. If you go there and you don't even have to create an account, but just try it out, and you can do it right now. Like, open another window and just see what pops up of what I'm telling you to do. You're going to write a list to inside the little Chat GPT subject box of like, what do you want to know or whatever. Ask Chat GPT anything, whatever it is, and you're going to put in there. Let's say we'll make it easy, or you know what? Let's make it like ridiculous. We're going to say, I want to become a billionaire, and I want to own my own basketball team, and I want to own a house in the Midwest with farm animals. How can I achieve that in the next 10 years? And then just put it in ChatGPT. And I just want you to try that out only for the reason that, as wild as your dream seems, something really crazy. I don't care if you say you want to be a rock star. I don't care if you say that you want to fly to the moon. I don't care what your dreams, what your ideas, whatever it is. Put it in ChatGPT, and then ChatGPT, I'm not even going to go into it, but I want you to just look at the outline on how it breaks down wild dreams into like small actionable steps, because it's going to open your mind up to the unknown, the possibilities of what can be, like things that you thought were out of reach that actually are not out of reach at all. So I really want you, that's like my new thing. I love ChatGPT. I want you to just go in and just put in there a list of whatever it is. I don't care if you're like, I want to be an author, and I want to, like one of my things is I'm putting out this course. I want to put out this course. I want to start doing public speaking. So I'm like just now getting myself out there for public speaking, which is exciting for me. And I put out all these things that I want to do. And I said, all right, ChatGPT, in what order should I do these things to achieve my ultimate goals of dot, 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 dot. And I went down the list and put all the stuff I want to do. Like, I want to speak fluent Spanish and this and this and that, all these things I want to do in this many years and this many years and this and that, whatever. How can I teach that? What can I do? Give me some guidance, whatever. But you can be as least specific or as much specific as you want. I think once you get into ChatGPT, you're going to see how your words that you put into the request is really going to get niched down to you and what your dreams are, in like in a realistic way where you're going to feel like, let me explore that some more. And the whole purpose of doing this whole like, put your dreams and put your dream life in ChatGPT, even if it's like, well, I want to get married, I want to have kids, I want to do that, whatever. I don't care. You want to have a dog, you want to own a snake store, I don't know, whatever kind of ideas you have. But if you put it in there, the whole goal of it is just to show you that there are like possibilities and get you curious on what you would want to do and which items you would want to take a next step on. Keep in mind that everything that comes from life comes from our brain. And that's just true. Even like the Bible says, without a vision, the people perish. I can shut down anybody who says like manifestation is like crap and like, that, we create with our minds and thoughts are things and that's not real and that's not like of God and it's not whatever. I know I'm messing with my bank, but that's because I literally just got them down. So sorry. But I can shut down anybody who says that all that stuff is cockamamie, because some people probably take that stuff and they do evil stuff with it. I could care less. It's like money or alcohol or like anything else. You could take something and do something evil with it, or take something and do something not evil with it, whatever. There is not one thing that you can look around in your room. There's not one thing you can look around in your room that did not start out in somebody's imagination. Just doesn't exist. So when you hear like, especially Christians, because it's like so annoying when Christians kind of get into this stuff, but there's not one thing that you can see on TV, on your phone, out in nature, out anywhere, something that was created by man that did not first appear in someone's imagination. Every invention, Every software, everything had to start in somebody's mind. Somebody had to think of, man, it would be great if this. Man, it would be great if that. Man, I would like to make this. They had to think about in their head in order to put it on paper in order to get into some action. So if you put something into ChatGPT, it's at least going to get your brain exploring possibilities, and you may find yourself saying, "Let me look up more stuff. Let me get into this. Let me see what's possible." And before you know it, you are believing or seeing that you are capable of so much more than where you're at in that moment, stuck in that fog. And it goes back again to you start adding more value to yourself and seeing that you are valuable and that you do matter and that you do have a purpose and all the possibilities that are available to you. So just try that exercise. 100% you're going to love it. And I definitely recommend using, ChatGPT for everything. I don't even get paid for this saying this. I'm just saying, like, it's not like an affiliate thing or anything, but I love me some ChatGPT because it just helps me to just break down all these dream life goals that I have. And it's actually been helping me with stuff that I'm currently doing right now. So that's definitely my number two. My last one is I want you to, and I kind of went over this already, I want you to throw away your crappy muscle synapses. And that basically just means that if you come to the point where you decide, I do not like living in this fog, I do not want to learn how to cope with this fog. I do not want to learn how to cope with these crappy feelings and these crappy thoughts. I want to be done with it. When you're at the moment when you feel like, I want to be done with these crappy feelings, hopelessness, feeling like you don't matter, feeling like your life is an accumulation of kitchen trash, feeling like you don't have anybody, feeling lonely, all of these things, feeling like the trauma that you went through has trumped your life, anything, period. I don't care what has happened to you in the past. You can move forward from it if you are willing to decide in your core beliefs that you are done and that you want to be done with those feelings. And then that's what's going to take you on that journey of being able to get rid of all of those really tight, hostage holding synapses and neurons that are like connected in your brain that's held down so tight. So if you want to loosen up those muscles and really weaken those muscles so they can kind of start dissipating into the void, just like mine did, then you really want to make that decision that you want to throw away your crappy muscle memories, that circumstances don't matter, that the truth of today is not the truth of tomorrow, and that you are going to decide that you are going to start achieving in order to, and know that when you start achieving, you are not going to care about what has happened to you in the past because you don't have to live there anymore. You can acknowledge that that was a life you had, that was where you were then, but that person you were then was sad. That person then didn't matter, felt that they didn't matter, felt like they were hopeless, whatever their feelings, whatever your feelings are. That person back then, like old Eileen, I feel bad for her. And there were times where I was like, oh my gosh, I wish I could go like back in a time machine and just like give her a big hug and tell her all the things that I needed to hear, that people don't get how to love me the way I needed to be loved. They just love me however they choose to love me. And I wish I can go back and like do those things for her. But now it's like, that's somebody completely different. That's somebody from like, it feels like somebody from a whole different life. That chapter of life is so done. And I know and feel, and I am at peace with, I can't change that part of my past, but I absolutely have the luxury of creating this really cool future without having those like horrendous hostage holding thoughts in my brain. So now I get to live life without those thoughts. I get to wake up in the morning and not feel the way that I used to feel before. So the biggest part of getting to that movement in your life is making the decision that you're not going to be held hostage by your thoughts anymore, that you actually do want to move forward. And when you get your core beliefs to believe that, then you absolutely will start seeing some shifts over time. The faster will be when you are learning new stuff that's going to help you with your muscles in your brain quicker. And also make sure you do a negative detox. And if you don't know what a negative detox is, if you don't know what a NPA is, a negative purge audit, then you need to connect with me and say, Eileen, what the heck is a negative purge audit? I need to know what that is. You need to do that in every single part of your life. If you don't do that, you're going to make this process that much harder for you. So if you want a completely different life where you feel like a completely different person and you can wake up and say, wow, I don't feel like a piece of crap anymore, then you need to subscribe to this channel, like this video, hit the bell button so that way you don't miss any other videos. And you need to stay connected with me because I got you and I'm going to tell you everything that I did. And I'm going to make it as simple as possible. I'm going to simplify suicide for you. You are not going to feel like you are just done with this life. You're not going to feel that. It's going to be done. It's going to be over. You're basically just going to the only suicide you're going to have is from those thoughts. Those thoughts are going to be gone and you're going to be what remains, you and all that future dreams, all the amazing things that you're going to bring into the world for yourself. So I will see you in the next video. And don't forget, like, share, subscribe, and be sure to stick around because I have some really cool things coming up for you. So I'll see you soon.